How's it going, fam? Welcome back to EricasEDC, and today we are finally looking at the dart. Guys, the darts from Levi over at Northern Knifeworks have finally arrived. This is a collaboration that I have done with him. It's my first real collab, and I am so beyond excited to share these with you guys. We're going to really go over all the specs, in-depth look at them. The drop will be between the end of March and maybe like the first week of April. I will obviously keep you guys updated on that whole thing, but I am like shaking. I am so excited about these knives. They got here yesterday and they are so above and beyond anything I expected. So let's check them out. I have two here. This orange one is my personal one that I will be keeping, and this green one here is a production one. So this is what will be featured in the drop. You can also get a custom one though, so if you don't want to wait for the drop or you don't want this configuration, you can always just get on the books for a custom dart. He's going to be making these. It's a model that he will provide on a regular basis, so you can customize it, you can do whatever you want. But enough yapping, let's get into it. I'm so excited. Okay, so every dart will come with a Kydex sheath, as you can see. There's no soft loop or anything like that. You can add that if you want, but these are kind of meant to just be thrown in the pocket because they're really small and concealable. So you can put like an ulti clip on, a soft loop if you want, whatever you want to do. I'm just throwing it in the pocket because that's what it was meant to do. When we take it out of the sheath, which by the way, they do all have his little stamp there, that tiny little tree, which is really cool. But the knife itself, let's check it out. This is the dart. So this particular one is in 10V, and that's stamped right there. Half of the batch will be 10V, half of the batch will be K390, and moving forward, we will provide all different types of steels. You can pick and choose what you want, but it's a half and half batch for the first drop. The average of the batch came in at 64.5 HRC, so these are very hard. They will keep their edge for a very long period of time. I'm really happy with that. My personal one is like 65, but the average between all of them for both steels was 64.5. And it really does look like a little tiny dart. I was trying to come up with names for it. I think I threw out like quill, arrow, dart, and we just stuck with dart because that's kind of what it looks like. It literally looks like a little throwing dart. But the production model has canvas green micarta scales with a black G10 pin. You do get a lanyard hole, jimping on the back. We also have jimping up near the harpoon, and this is perfect for resting your thumb into. Like, you lock into this completely, okay? You're not going anywhere, especially with that choil for your index finger. It's really designed so that it's a slim, elegant carry that your hand just naturally completely locks into. We have a full flat ground blade with a gorgeous, really thin edge. Extremely slicey. Very slim profile. The harpoon is something that everybody wants right now, so we threw it on there. The full flat ground blade really provides a bunch of slicing capability. Now, Levi thought that these were around 8 thou behind the edge. My calipers measured 10 thou. You know, everyone's calipers are going to read different, but I would say these are going to run between 8 and 10 thou, which is extremely slicey. But you know, it's not so thin where you have to be like careful about using it, right? It's not like 5 thou. 8 to 10 is a really good thin, slicey, usable thickness, in my opinion. So these are exactly what I wanted. Nice thin blade stock. Absolutely beautiful. Really nice piercing tip there too, which has a long swedge incorporated into it. So these are going to be available, like I said, end of March, beginning of April. I will give you guys plenty of notice about the drop. This is something that we will be continuing to make between the production run and the custom ones. If you guys miss out on the first drop, there will be so many more. Like, don't worry, we're going to keep making them. I'm really excited about it. This definitely has like all of the characteristics of a perfect knife for me, even down to the choil. This will provide ease of sharpening. You have full access to the bevel so that you don't have to worry about trying to get into this ricasso area. Really nice little choil there. Just everything about this melts into your hand. It's extremely comfortable. Just beautiful. So that's the harpoon dart. Okay. And both of these are basically the same. This one just doesn't have the harpoon, which I'll show you in a minute. So they're both coming in at approximately 6 3/4 inches, and the cutting edge is approximately 2 3/4. So this is a very tiny knife. It probably looks way bigger than it actually is. It's extremely small, coming in at under 7 inches, under 3 inches for the blade length / cutting edge, which I really like. I think this is going to be a great option for people that have specific knife flaws. It's very concealable, which I'm going to show you something really cool in a minute in terms of concealing. But that's the production one, okay? So that's the 10V. Absolutely beautiful. And just if you didn't know this, 10V and K390 are essentially the same. K390 is bowler, whereas 10V is a CPM steel. 10V is just, you know, an American version of K390, essentially, when it boils down to it. Now, I'm gonna lower you guys down for a minute because I want to show you something really cool, and this is one of the biggest interest points for me with the dart. So when you have it in the sheath, it's extremely thin and concealable. I'm gonna lower you guys down for a minute and show you what I'm talking about. This was something that was really important to me, right? Because a lot of people don't want to carry a fixed blade because they're too big and too cumbersome, and a lot of people don't want one on their belt, either because they don't want people to see it, or it can be cumbersome, right? So I'm wearing men's Levi's jeans. I'm a size 27, and you know, these are not like super tight to my skin, but they're, I don't know, they're kind of fitted, okay? So if we take the dart here, this is meant, at least from my personal ideas, this is meant to be concealed in a pocket, okay? I don't want you guys to have to buy a soft loop or anything for this. So this is actually meant to just go right down in your pocket, okay? And it completely melts in there. There's like no printing. You don't feel it. You can fully move, and it's not poking you in your thigh or anything. It's actually like the same exact length as the depth of a pair of Levi's jeans pockets. So it rests right in the nook here, okay? You don't see it, you don't feel it, nothing, and it just kind of rests right here in your thigh. That way, nobody sees it. You don't even feel it until you need it, and it's fully in your pocket, okay? So that was one of the biggest points for me. And the reason that I wanted the integrated jimping on the butt end of the knife is because I want people to be able to grab this easily out of their pocket if they do not wish to run a lanyard. Not everyone likes lanyards. I love them. I think it's easier to pull out of your pocket with a lanyard, but if you don't like them, we incorporated this jimping on the back, so when this is in your pocket, if you have other items in there, and this is tucked right up in that crevice there, you can reach in and grip with your thumb your knife, okay? It's not slick. It's really easy to just reach down in there and pull this out, especially if you have other items packed in there, pocket organizers, pliers, anything like that. This jimping, your fingers just literally catch right onto it and you pull it out. So you're not, you know, fidgeting around in there trying to fish it out. Really easy to just grip and pull, okay? With that jimping there. It's also extremely useful if you do some different types of cuts. If you hold your knife like this, maybe, this could also be applied to a self-defense situation, which we obviously don't want, but like, you know, if you had to, this is a very pokey, easy to maneuver knife. So if you had to use it in that application, it your pinky goes right into there, all your fingers line up, and then your thumb goes right on that jimping, and you're 100% locked in for whatever movements you have to do. Even if you're just doing like cutting motions on any types of boxes or packaging or anything, that jimping really allows you to lock in. I'm gonna bring you guys back up and show you the other cool aspects of my dart, because I do think some people are gonna want the version that I opted for. Like, I know harpoons are awesome. I think they're gonna sell out immediately, but I really put a lot of thought into my personal one, and I just wanna share why I did it. So this is obviously really different than the harpoon version in terms of what I did with this jimping here. So for me, one of the most important aspects of a knife is having a pretty centerline tip, which I've mentioned 1,000 times in my videos. And then I want to be able to utilize that tip for 85% of my cutting tasks. Now that sounds silly at first, but I'm being serious. If I can save the edge of my knife for tasks where I actually need it, I want to do that. So what I do a lot of the times, just opening packages, is I'll just use the very tip of my knife, and I sometimes hold it like this, I sometimes hold it like that, but kind of, you know, I just use that first, you know, half inch, quarter, sometimes even quarter inch area of the knife, and because that's all you need, right? To go through packing tape, you don't need the whole blade. So sometimes I just use the very tip there, and being able to lock in and fully utilize that precise tip is really important to me. So this knife, you're actually able to put your middle finger on the choil here and kind of pinch grip it to use the front part of the knife for precision, or if you want, again, lock your middle finger in there, index finger on the front, and you can really use that. And that's also good for game processing and precise cuts. So that's why I did all this jimping on mine, because I wanted to be able to really move this knife around in my hand and use it in all different manners for different types of cuts, okay? So that jimping up on the front there really helps. And like I said, with the game processing, that's huge for me. That's going to be a game changer. I process a lot of like raw fish and meat for my dogs because they're on a raw food diet. So really being able to, you know, lock this little blade into my fingers to work through game, that's incredible. And it's very thin and slicey, so you can even use this as like, you know, a bird and trout knife. Obviously, if you don't want guts and stuff getting caught up in the jimping, you can just, if you put in a custom order, request for jimping only in certain areas or no jimping at all. But I really wanted to be able to get a full grip when my hands are wet or bloody or slimy, full grip on this, and just be able to really work through all different types of materials. So that is my personal dart. Extremely thin, pocketable, slicey. Let's just do some size comparisons real quick so you guys can get a better idea of how small this is, and then we'll kind of close out here. So I have a Victorinox Super Tinker. So the whole size of the Swiss Army knife is about the same size as the handle, as you can see. I also have a Chris Reeves small Sebenza 31 that we'll bring in here. A lot of people know the size of that. So it's about the same size as a small Sebenza, so really small. Really, really small. We'll bring in a Benchmade 940, which has approximately an inch over the dart in length. The 940 is, I believe, 7.87 inches. So as you can see, the dart is really dwarfed by the 940 in length. Okay. Bringing a Benchmade bug out too. These are pretty close, but the Benchmade again has a little bit of length on the dart. And lastly, we'll do a Spyderco Para 3. Right there. So again, the dart is smaller than most of these, or shorter, I should say, and extremely thin. Extremely thin. It's like a pencil. Let's do one last look around here. Okay. These will be $295 plus shipping. Now I know you're probably like, whoa, what the heck? That's a lot of money. I'm hoping that you guys can kind of appreciate and understand what you're getting though, right? So this is a handmade, handcrafted, heat-treated in-house knife, made in Georgia. You can contact Levi whenever you want if you have any issues. You're getting a, super steels at 64.5 HRC, which is extremely hard. You really shouldn't have to sharpen these for a very long time. Maybe strop once in a while, but between the geometry being so thin and the heat treat being so high, these should cut and slice for you for a very long time without any human intervention. The fit and finish on these is absolutely incredible. You get the patina factor, and Levi is doing every single bit of this himself, right? We're not sending it out for heat treat. Nobody else is doing anything. This is all Levi. So it may sound like a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, it's just not. For a full custom knife, $295, I think is very reasonable for what you're getting. These are... I really think you guys are going to like these. I have had this design in my head for a really long time, and I've been waiting to find someone that works with super steels, that wants to do it forever. There are just not a lot of people that want to work with K390, and K390 is my favorite steel of all time. I have thoroughly tested it. So I'm so excited to finally be able to offer you guys knives in K390. I'm so excited. I'm just going to grab my notebook here real quick and make sure we didn't miss anything. Obviously, if you guys have questions or comments, go down below. Leave those for me. Oh, we didn't miss anything, I don't think. Okay, so yeah, I wicked appreciate you guys, stopping by and checking these out. I'm really excited to be able to offer these. It's essentially a mini version of the Stinger that he's already been making, but it just has a more pointy blade, because he already makes something with a good amount of belly. So I was like, why don't we make something a little more like pokey and more like a bird and trout style EDC knife that is just as small and thin as possible for our viewers. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns down below. I will do my best to answer all of you guys. Follow Levi over at Northern Knifeworks on Instagram. That's where the drop will be, so you want to make sure that you have your notifications turned on for his posts, and I will keep you guys updated as to when these are genuinely going to drop. But that's the first look. I'll give you guys one more look at the harpoon one. I'm just so happy with how these came out. There's nothing I would change about them. Nothing. These are just absolutely incredible, and I'm so excited that you guys will get to customize these as well if you want. I think the harpoon looks amazing, but if you're not a fan of those, you can customize it to suit you and your needs. But I will say, for not being a fan of these in the first place, this is one of the most comfortable knives I've ever held. It locks right in. Like, it just, you can literally feel that your thumb is pushing forward, your index finger is pushing back, and it just completely locks into your hand with zero effort. Just, it naturally flows like that. And you can just really work with this thing. So I'm very excited for these. I'm really excited for you guys to be able to finally get your hands on K390 with a custom heat treat. Hard as shit, just, You guys aren't going to be disappointed with these. You're just not. And before we go, because I'm just so excited about this too, I do have one other knife that I've been working on with a different maker, Dusty over at Duckhead Forge. And this just got here about an hour ago, and I just want to give you a really quick sneak peek at this because this will be available soon too. This is very different than the Dart. This is a thick boy. This is a little beefy, just tank of a knife, S60V, 62 HRC. And I am not going to really say much else about it other than that, but I just wanted to show you guys that we have some other things coming down the pipeline in super steels, hard, ready to use, ready to go. Two very different versions of an Erica knife here from two different incredible people. And I am really excited to share this bottom one with you, but that's for another day. Guys, I love you so much. Thank you for all the support. Go use your shit, learn how to sharpen your knives, and I will see you on the next video. I love you so much, fam. Take care.